There's a conversation to be had.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Welcome to another Conversations to be Had podcast. I'm your host, Rashawn. This is my brother, Charlo, over there. And we got a good one for you today. We're going to be talking Epstein files. We're going to bring it back. We're going to roll the block one more time on this because there's a lot that's been happening. So we got to do some catch up, but we got a lot of great guests coming on tonight as well. If you want to go ahead and bring them on in, Charlo. What's going on, everybody? How you all doing today?
Hey.
Good. How you doing?
Doing all right. All right. So so we're gonna be talking Epstein. There's been a lot going on since the last time. Well, you guys weren't on the first podcast where we discussed this, but there's been a lot going on. It's a very fluid situation. What I'm gonna do, I want to start with V. Since you are the brain here, you know all the facts. Why don't you catch us up a little bit on what's been going on with Epstein?
Yeah, I mean, so we just got a dump of over 50,000 emails and documents. There's actually 300,000 individual pages, but there's 53,000 individual files and stuff. And so there's a lot of information that came out. And so in this last dump, we found out lots of individuals that obviously knew what he did because of the conviction in 2008 of soliciting a minor, but chose to communicate with him and work with him. And you've got people like Larry Summers, who was the Treasury Secretary under Clinton and an advisor to Obama. You have Kathy Rumler, who also was White House counsel. You have people like Deepak Chopra. And you even have people like Paul Krausner. And I don't know if a lot of people know who Paul Krausner are because he's kind of, from an older generation. But anyone that was growing up in the 60s knows who he is. And I learned about him a little bit before. And he was a satirist. He used to make weird jokes, weird artwork, stuff that's really, really out there. He created, a lot of different groups. He used to protest. He stood up for abortion rights. He got an award by feminist groups for his journalism about defending women's rights. And he was one of the ones that literally defended Epstein. And this is after his 2008 conviction, where people knew that he was soliciting a minor. So there's just a ton of people that are involved that either enabled him or just basically just said, hey, I don't care what you did. It's okay.
It's crazy because I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? And back in the day, you always hear about these like Illuminati and these groups where hidden billionaires having all these type of parties and stuff like that. But reading these files and seeing everything that's in it, you see the spider web of just like the rich and the elite that are all just connected. I mean, I remember, like you called him a human Rolodex, this guy was. So
Yep.
I know it's just crazy to me. You know what I mean? The amount of names of people that were in these emails. But yeah.
Now, Jesus, I seen you shaking your head when he was talking. Did you disagree with something he said?
No, I'm just listening to the names and trying to connect common denominators. There's always a common denominator with the elites.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Jeffrey
'cause he was
Epstein.
saying yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
He's the common denominator.
Well, there's more than that, but
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure there is, but you look at the entertainment industry because the majority of the names that are going to be in his files are people that are in the entertainment industry. It's a very corrupt business, and it goes back to Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was a well-known secret. It was an open secret in Hollywood what Weinstein was doing. And you can't tell me that that's not all connected because it's all sex trafficking at the end of the day.
Well, here's a weird connection, which is Tom Barrack. And I know, Charlie, you're gonna hate when I say this, but in my video, I did talk about Tom Barrack, and there was a lot that I couldn't talk about because I try to keep my videos under 25 minutes. But for just a quick synopsis on Tom Barrack, he is the current ambassador to Turkey, but the way that he started is he was Nixon's personal attorney. And then he worked for Reagan under the Department of Interior under a guy named James Watt. And then he became rich by investments. He has investments in the Middle East. He has over $200 million of investments in the Middle East. He has stuff in the Abu Dhabi Fund. He has stuff with Saudi Arabia. He used to work with multiple families in the royal family. Many people say that it was him who brought Trump to the Middle East to have all those relationships. And he actually not only one of the times bought Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. But Jen, to your point, he actually tried to bail out Harvey Weinstein's company when Harvey Weinstein was first indicted on sexual abuse charges.
So
And
in
he,
New York, the New York charges.
the New York charges, yes. And so he was actually trying to bail him out. Now, it didn't work out. Someone else eventually tried to, and then it got defunct in 2018. But the point is that he did try to buy it out.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there. It's not just entertainment, though. There's a lot of legal connections, a lot of lawyers, really, there's a lot of Middle Eastern investors, American investors that have money in the Middle East. That's another huge connection there.
Yeah.
I think the big
You know?
connection, not to interrupt, cut you
Go
off,
ahead.
but I think the big connection is Donald Trump. Because if you look at our video that we did, it was probably the second podcast we ever did, right, Sean? Like,
Yeah, it was about the second one.
Epstein
It was
I
the
think
second
it
one.
was the second one. And in that podcast, I said that when this first happened years and years ago, and Donald Trump gave his response, that his response made me think, like, just as a guy, if I was put in that situation, that's kind of how I would answer. So I was like, I don't think he's messing with the girls. But then we had the situation where he was in with the super liar Pam Bondi and Marco Rubio, and he was like, well, can't we just leave this Epstein stuff alone? And that made me uneasy, because I was like, dang, man, like, you the biggest shit starter in the world, dude. I know. And Bill's on the tapes. Like, why wouldn't you want that out? Now I'm suspicious, like, damn, man, I really didn't think you messed with the girls, but now you making me think you on them. And then I said at the end of the show that when he became president, they called him in the room and told him he was on them tapes. And we soon found, how did it happen? Like maybe 4 weeks after that, they said it. Pam Bondi called him in the room and she told him that you're on the tapes, Bucko. Like, we got to, and I mean, it isn't just that he's on the tapes. These guys was business. So, like, I can still believe that Trump might not have been involved with the girls, but he definitely knew about it. And he should just fess up to that. Like, that was him and that wasn't me. And, I mind my business. Like, don't try to play the innocent, ignorant role, because that's like, we beyond that.
I don't think you can do that.
It's obvious he's protecting somebody. Like, I still to this day, really, I'm not positive that he messed with girls. But I know people that have stuff over him and it's more powerful than him mess with girls, and they trying to get him to, squash it as, quickly as possible. That's just
I think he's getting pressure from people that are a lot bigger than him.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Even though he is technically the most powerful man in the world right now, I do think that there are people that are involved with Epstein that are high in governments, and I mean,
And finance.
Banking. Yeah, to me, I think if you look at what happened with Prince Andrew, and how they took his titles away and kicked his ass out, when they did that, I said something big's coming out soon. I knew this was going to happen. I knew Trump was going to eventually say, release all the files.
But I'm sorry. Jesus, go ahead, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm good, man.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
But on that point, though, I mean, is he really releasing all the files? I mean, at the same time, he went on ahead and started an open investigation on the Democrats, which I found highly suspicious, because now they can go ahead and say, hey, we can't release everything because there is an open.
They're not going to say that. They're already not saying that.
They've already released them since he said that.
Yeah.
They've already released more.
The Department of Justice has not released a single file app since the bill has been passed.
Yeah.
What has been released is stuff from the House Oversight Committee.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yep.
Yeah, and so
but there's still stuff that can't be released because it's still in open court. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell's stuff is still under appeal, and anything related to her case can't be released, and that's a fact. I mean,
does anybody find it weird that you have to sign an executive order to investigate sex trafficking of a United States citizen, just a normal guy? It isn't like he's has any like official position where it would be any kind of type of conflict of interest. So, like
Who
your
though?
investigation,
Who are you talking about?
Epstein.
Well, I
Why
mean,
do you
he's
have to
dead.
have an? Why do you have to have right? Why do you have to have an executive order to open the files and investigate? And like, why not just put them out there? Why
Well,
do you need an
because
executive order?
there are still files that are involved with court cases, just like the Ghislaine Maxwell court case. So I can see why that can be done.
We're shit, damn near 10 years down the road now. That was like 2014, wasn't it?
I can't
When
remember
it first
when he
happened.
got convicted.
I want to say it's 14, 16, somewhere in that area. It was that in that period.
I'll have to
So
look it up.
we're so far along, like everybody should be convicted of the crime by now. I mean, there's no
Yeah, but
like
do you understand how
we don't
long
have
appeals
enough
take?
evidence.
Let
Do
me
you
make a
understand
correction.
how long appeals take?
Let me make a correction here because I wanted to
Yeah,
make
but
sure I
appeal
was
is
right.
after a conviction.
The appeal is
Right.
over. She used her last appeal. It was over as of October
did?
2025. Yeah. So
Okay.
the
So
Supreme
it's
Court
just passed. Okay.
so Supreme Court rejected her appeal, and there's no one else left to appeal it to other than the
Okay.
Supreme Court. So
Right.
that's now over.
So that furthers my point. Like,
Okay.
don't you guys find it suspicious that this man is opening up another case on a case that was already, his own Justice Department already said there was nothing going on and closed it earlier in July. Now he's going to reopen it up only for Democrats at the same time that he's supposed to be releasing these files. Y'all don't find that suspicious? You don't think that's kind of shady? Because he could
Well,
use
fine.
that.
I'll say there's an issue if they don't release the files. I'll hold judgment until they say that.
Yeah.
If they do say that, then yeah, I would say that's convenient.
Okay. And then there was also like they got loopholes in this whole thing where they say the
Pam
DOJ.
Body's a loophole. Pam
Huh?
Bondi is a loophole.
But they said the DOJ can
Supervisor.
withhold. They can withhold or heavily redacted material, and they can also.
If Pam Bondi deems that she's in charge, if she
Right.
deems that anything that's in there is has something to do with the current investigation, she can redact it.
Or
Well,
national security. Didn't
allegedly-
that raise some flags about national security when they said there may be national security things in there?
Pam Bondi did. Yeah.
You know, and if there's national security interest in there, what's that about? You know?
Yeah, what
Right.
national security have to do with little girls?
Right. And Epstein. So,
That's
I
what I
mean,
said.
is there a
And then-
connection there as well?
And then
Well,
the whole
because
Pam
there
Bondi
could
being
be-
the last line of defense, really, like she's a super liar. Like
Well, they
I
all
can't
are.
stand that.
They all are.
Yeah,
They
it, was
all
a
are.
hoax. It was a hoax
But
5
she-
minutes ago.
Yeah, but
Right.
like,
minutes
No,
ago,
no.
Trump called it
Right.
a hoax over and
No.
over
But
again
like-
for months.
No.
like she is so.
He
He said it
his
was a hoax.
involvement-
He,
no.
he literally said.
No,
it's a
he literally
Democratic
said the
hoax.
whole
He
thing was a
said-
Democratic
Literally.
hoax.
Literally
against
said those words.
him. He didn't
No,
say
no. He said the whole thing was a hoax. He didn't say
No.
anything about him.
No, he didn't say
twisting his
Epstein was a
words.
hoax. He
He did.
knows Epstein was a
said-
thing. Now, you know what? This is a language thing. This is a language thing.
I mean,
Libs
wait,
take
he
language
said-
one way and we take
Wait,
language another.
Yeah, go
He
ahead.
said
Yes.
the whole thing is a hoax.
Explain it.
This
Let-
whole
hold on, V,
Epstein
hold
list
on.
is a
Yes,
hoax.
just like
V,
Russia was a hoax. Not that.
against him.
Nancy,
He
can you
didn't-
explain
he-
it so I can understand it? Just
Okay.
let Nancy speak.
All right. So what I'm trying to say is like when you guys hear Trump say hoax, you hear one thing, and when we hear him say hoax, we hear another thing. You guys hear him say that they're making up every single thing, and it's like everything from top to bottom he's saying is false. When we hear Trump say hoax, we hear him say they're making all this to make my administration look bad. All the stuff they're trying to do to make my administration look bad is a hoax. That's
Okay.
what he's talking
Let me-
about.
And listen,
Okay, I
listen.
can-
And he specifically stated, even the other day, right down to like 3 days ago, he stated, this is a hoax against my administration so that nobody's talking about the peace deals that I've made in the Middle East, the peace deals I've made in Africa, the stuff that, any of the stuff that
You're-
I've gone
okay.
on. He said,
All right.
It's how he talks.
He
Let me
never
ask-
said
let me ask you
that
guys
Jeffrey
this.
Epstein did not sexually assault girls. He never,
Yeah,
ever
never.
said
Let me ask you guys this, because I never said that either. But you guys just assumed that I was saying all of it is a hoax.
Mm.
He literally said it's a Democratic hoax, which means like he gave no further context. But let's take your context, because I don't disagree with that to say, oh, they're trying to distract. But let's back up a little bit, because this is the very guy that ran a presidential campaign
Hmm.
on releasing the files.
Yep.
So
Oh, I agree.
We did.
hold on. I let you guys rock. Let me rock for a second.
No, go ahead. Well, we're
So-
agreeing with you.
So
Yeah.
when you come in office and you promise us all the things that he promised, that my taxes haven't went down, my grocery bills haven't went, all the things he promised didn't happen. The easiest thing, the lowest hanging fruit was go ahead and release those files to get these people off my back. He
Yep.
decided to play a game, and probably not his decision, to your guys' earlier point of there's probably people above him that are
Mhm.
pulling the strings. I believe that too, for sure. But you have to understand, there is no, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to translate it through my Trump ears. If you tell me it's a hoax after you ran on saying you're going to release it, and Pam Bondi comes out in your administration and tells us there were no files when she just told us they were on her desk, I'm not going to listen to that through Trump filter. I'm going to say, this dude is lying. For who? I don't know. Hopefully we find out. But there is no filter to be like, oh, he only meant for me.
Yep.
We knew what he meant.
Okay.
It doesn't take a filter to figure out
Can I
somebody here
respond?
is lying.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
The fact that one, yes, he did run on it. I do believe he had the intent. Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, they all believed certain things where previous to they did not have access to all the information. Pam Bondi had not reviewed everything that had come across her desk at that point in time. And I think she believed there was an official list, which I've heard from multiple sources elsewhere. And everything's a guess as to whether it's true or not, but there is no actual list, like a black book
Right.
with a list and all the
There isn't.
information. But I think as they discovered information, they had to backtrack and had to change their stance. I think the way Trump is, I can't stand it. I don't think he's a great communicator. I think he's a horrible communicator, but he's not going to say, this is the reason why we're not going to do it now, because I have these people who are over us, or I found out intelligence was involved in it, or whatever the reason is, because we can only make assumptions. None of us know what the real reason is why he took a step back. Okay.
We'll probably never
So we can
will.
only make assumptions. So he could have reasons that we know nothing about whatsoever, including national security and other things like that. So he had to I think he sincerely planned on releasing them. He released all the other stuff he said he was going to release. He may have found out there's information and it may not have been about him, because we all knew he was in the files. It may or may not be about him, but I just think they had to change their stance because of certain things that they found. I'm glad, and I always thought he always should release them. I didn't think he should step back regardless of the reasons
Yeah, I think that's
on
fair.
doing it. So
I think
I'm glad
that's
it's
fair.
being done.
I will
Yep.
say this, though. I don't believe any sane person thought there was like a list from A to Z, like a black book. I think what
People did.
we're saying is, if you are a sex trafficker and you are arrested for sex trafficking like Maxine is and him, you obviously traffic these people from somebody to somebody.
Yep.
That's what we want. We want who did you transport these people to? Who did you traffic them to?
And I think
So I think sane
We all
people
want
think
that.
that's
Yeah.
the list, not, oh my gosh, there's like a Rolodex, like Santa Claus's Christmas list, and just all these popular
I
names
understand.
are on.
I think
I'm
there
not
are people that
disagreeing
think
with you.
that,
I'm
though.
Because that's what you
I'm
made it sound like.
saying-
You made it sound like we're like totally like we don't get.
No,
Oh,
I
we're not, we,
No.
we're like,
But I
No,
do
I'm
think-
saying I think there
do
are
think
reasons
there
why
are
he
people that think
backtracked. I
that.
don't think he lied from the outset, not intending to release them. And I don't think Bondi was lying. I think she thought there were certain things that were there that she would be able to release. And
I
when she
fully-
found out she couldn't,
I fully think Bondi was lying, but I will
Yeah,
add this
yeah.
one last
I
point.
don't
This
think
one
so.
last point.
Super liar.
Yeah, this one last point, and I'll step off of it. I think everything you said about Trump not knowing the importance of it would work if this was his first go around in that White House. But this is a man who already lived that life and had tons of connections all up and down Senate and Congress and all over the government. It's different. If he came in brand new and found out, remember in his first administration, he was like, I'm going to fix Big Pharma. And he had that meeting with Big Pharma, and he came out and was like, okay, I'm not going to fix Big Pharma, because they dropped knowledge on him because he was brand new. He had to know what the game was.
Right.
This time around, he knew what the game was because he played it for 4 years, bitched about it for 4 more, got back in office, and then he's trying to act like all of this is brand new. Like, he knew the game. So
Doesn't mean he knows what was in the files.
No, but he knew how to get information. He knew what was part of those files. He wasn't completely blind to it. Hell, the man is in them.
I don't think he. I don't think so. Do you think he knew it was in the JFK files and the RFK files?
Was he best friends with JFK? Was he hanging
He
out with
wasn't
him?
best friends.
That's got nothing to do with what the FBI has accumulated for information.
Hold on a second, guys. Hold on, I got a question. This is to the whole group, but more to you, Nancy. Okay, I explained to you earlier why I gave Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt that I didn't make, that he was messing with the girls. But for a person like you, who, you're a woman, and you know that he was like this with a pedophile, like he was at the parties, you see him. I mean, you got to find a picture without Donald Trump and Epstein together. Now, that's the hard thing to find. There's so many out there.
That's not true. They show the same pictures all the time. Yes, they were friends. I know they were friends.
So
They
now,
weren't best friends
I also
either.
know Bill Clinton was friends. That's got nothing to do with. But let you
Now,
go ahead.
hold
You
on.
finish what you were
Epstein
saying.
went to the
And
White
And
House
ask-
like
you're
20 times.
And ask
damn
me what
right.
you were gonna ask.
Do I think Bill Clinton is innocent? Hell no. Hell no. And that's the point I made. That's the basically the gist of my question. So if you know a dude's been best friends with a pedophile for 15 years, he even says out his own mouth, you hear it out his mouth, yeah, he likes them young. He's been convicted. Well, he didn't get convicted. He killed himself, but his partner gets convicted. He's all entangled in it. Why would you give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't mess with him? I know why.
The benefit of the doubt that what?
That he didn't mess with those girls. He's not involved in this, and why
Because-
make you do that? Because if I didn't feel like I
then
felt as a
did Bill
man,
Gates?
then I wouldn't give him the benefit of the
Oh
doubt.
shoot!
They were not best friends while she fixes her phone.
They were
Those two-
friends. That's all we're saying.
They were friends. They ran in the same circles. They had the same acquaintances. If anybody was best friends with anybody, he was best
She
friends
had
with Bill Clinton.
34 phone numbers for the man. They're
Bill
not
Clinton-
friends. 34. If I have 34 phone numbers
Do
for
you
any
okay.
man,
All right,
me
hold
and
on.
him are like this.
Hold on. No, that's not necessarily true. Jeffrey
Most
Epstein,
men don't have
No.
more. Don't even
Let
have
me
two
speak.
numbers for a dude.
let me speak.
Do you? Any of you guys have
I have
more than
one
two
phone
numbers
number.
for a dude?
I have one phone number. I don't have 100 businesses that have 34 different phone numbers.
Okay,
So-
but why would you, Jen?
Listen,
Seriously,
listen to me.
I'm hearing you. I'm listening.
Okay,
'Cause
then
I'm-
listen. Stop talking over me then.
Go ahead.
Jeffrey Epstein was a person that dealt in people. He probably had everybody's phone number for every person that he knew. That doesn't mean he was best friends with them. He dealt his whole business ran on information because he was nothing. He literally was a zero, and he built himself up and lied and made up shit to get into the financial world, and he inserted himself into places to meet powerful people and deal in that information. And that's why he knew everybody's phone number. Because I guarantee you, if Bill Gates had 34 phone numbers, he probably
I'm
had all 34 of Bill Gates's phone numbers. That doesn't make them best
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
What makes
Okay.
people best friends is someone going on the Lolita Express and going to his island 27 times, him visiting the White House 27 times when they were in office. That is a best friend of somebody. Him going
if you
to his
had
daughter's
34 numbers,
wedding.
would you just give all 34 out to anybody?
Wait, can I
Do you
interject real
think
quick?
all
I
34
don't
of
think
those
this
were
pushes the
private
conversation
numbers?
forward.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Jen. It was for the driver of his car. it was for the lady who makes up his bed, the lady who fluffs his. He had all the numbers so that he could reach him at any time. It's in the.
Because
It's
people
in the.
that
It's in the.
deal
Have
in
you read that stuff?
information have
Have you
all
read
of
that
the
stuff?
information and use it
Jen, would
against
you
them.
would you say they were friends?
I would say that they were acquaintances in the same circles, in the
You
same
need to
social
read the.
circles.
You
But
need to
but
read those.
they were neighbors, like they were neighbors. I mean, Epstein's own brother
Yep.
said that Trump and Epstein were direct quote, Trump and Epstein very close, good friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Epstein's brother also said that Trump sucked Bubba's dick.
No, he didn't.
So
He actually said the opposite. He said that that rumor was a lie and that the whole
Okay.
conversation was made up. Let me just first of all, before I even say anything, I do believe Bill Clinton is guilty of some crimes and he needs
I
to
do
be
too.
investigated.
I mean, he's
So-
a rapist. He's already been proven a rapist.
as yes, he. So first of all, I don't understand why every single time people want to bring up what's going on with Epstein, they say, "But what about Clinton? Clinton needs to go to jail." First of all right,
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
does.
protecting anybody.
He does.
All right,
I voted
First-
for him twice.
yeah, okay. And then the other thing is, but facts are facts. He was on the plane 27 times, but he never went to the island. So what?
Yes, he did.
Those are the facts. No, there's no confirmed visits he ever went to the island, but he was
I
on.
looked at the manifest and it said he went to the island.
Manifest are flight logs, right? And the flight
Yeah.
logs do not, and he was never on the island. But I will say we have pictures of Bill Clinton getting a massage from someone, one of the Epstein girls, and we know that from the Palm Beach County Police, and all that investigation, all of the assaults started with a massage and then turned into an assault.
Yep.
So we have a picture of Bill Clinton. So I know that Bill Clinton, or I can't say I know, but I would bet
It's a
$50,000 that Bill Clinton did
I
some
would too.
nasty shit. Okay. Now,
Yep.
having said that, let's talk about Trump's relationship with Epstein and how Epstein got involved in this scenario. What you said is that he put himself in scenarios where he was in the financial. No, they came and seeked him. That's the problem. So what happened was,
Going back to when Epstein was first starting out, like when he was young, when he was in college and he was actually a teacher and he went to work for Bear Stearns. He did that intentionally.
so so what you got to understand there is that after Stephen A. Hoffenberg, after he worked for Stephen A. Hoffenberg, the guy from Towers, the whole Ponzi scheme,
Yep.
that's how he made his money. And after he made his money, people started seeking him out. Now so we know those are facts. Like that's not like some conspiracy. We know that those are the facts. And
Right.
Stephen J. Hoffenberg, now he went to prison. The only reason why Epstein didn't go to prison is because Steve basically said, "Hey, listen, I don't want any more investigation. I'm going to plead. I'm going to do my 20 years. Don't investigate anyone else." Now there were civil lawsuits by all the people that invested in the hedge fund. That's how the documents came out that Epstein was involved in that Ponzi scheme, and that's how we know how he made his money.
Yep.
So the thing is that he had the contacts, those hedge fund contacts, long time before. We're talking about, before even the year 2000, all that stuff. So he knew all of this stuff. He was involved in that circle a long time ago. Now, when we talk about Trump, we know that Trump and him were very, very close. Not because he was one of the only people that Trump allowed him to come to Mar-a-Lago without paying a cent. So when Trump says, "Oh, I asked him to, don't come to our club anymore," he was not a paying member. Trump gave Epstein a free pass to do whatever he wanted to do at Mar-a-Lago for free.
That's
And
news. I did not.
Well, now you know.
It was my understanding that he was actually a member and they banned
he
him.
was not a paid member. He was not a paid member.
Besties, Jen.
It's in the
They were
email.
besties.
There was
You
an
don't
email.
take that many photos with a man that you're just.
I don't think there's that many
acquaintance.
photos. I see the
Jen,
same 7 or
Are you
8
serious?
photos. Yeah. I've seen a lot more photos of him with other people than I have with Trump. It's just people like to push Trump because he's the president. And he's
Well,
not.
he's the president. He's kind of a big deal, don't you think?
Yeah.
But going back to the relationship between Epstein and Trump, and here's the thing: when he was asked and why Trump stopped being friends with Epstein, the first time he said it was a business deal. He said the very first time he said it was a business deal. I didn't like what he did. And then he was asked again. And obviously this is live because reporters are asking questions. And he said, he was stealing employees from me.
Right.
And I asked him not to do that. And then a reporter next time, this was overseas now, and then he was asked, hey, Trump, was one of those employees Virginia Giuffre? And he said, yeah, he was stealing employees from me like her. I told him not to do that. So,
Right.
so that shows that he knew that Epstein was taking she was 16 at the time, was taking underage girls that Trump had doing massage work there and personally saying, hey, this 16-year-old underage girl, he knew that Epstein was hiring her away, and he knew that Maxwell was involved. And he got mad, not that he was taking an underage girl and molesting them. He was mad that he was not working at at Mar-a-Lago massages, right? Like, he's not giving the massages to his friends. That's what he was mad at. And he said it happened multiple times over and over again. I told him to stop, and he wouldn't stop, which means that he knew that Maxwell, and it's in the documents too, that in the court documents, Virginia's court documents, that happened over and over and over and over and over again, and that's why he ultimately cut it off. Now, when you heard the first thing before all of this came out, this last time, Trump gave a completely different answer. He said there was a business deal that went wrong. That's what he told Michael Wolff when Michael Wolff was writing the book. He told Michael Wolff there was a business deal that went wrong, and that Trump showed Jeffrey Epstein property, and then Jeffrey Epstein decided to outbid him
I
on that
heard
property.
that story. Yeah, and then he
That is
outbid
what
Epstein.
That's what he told Michael Wolff. So he's now given
Right.
3 separate stories about why he cut off relationship with Epstein. And the thing is that he said, oh yeah, I did it way before he got convicted in 2008 in Palm Beach County. No, he didn't. We have records because there's photographs of Trump leaving a message, right? Because what they did is back in the day, leave a message. Somebody called, it would say Donald Trump called, and that went all the way up until 2015. So it was like, we know like the range, like 2014 or 2015, we know the range happened where in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting a minor, but Jeffrey Epstein and Trump still communicated. We have phone records about that. And even though we keep calling it solicitation of a minor, what was his actual crime? He had over 200 underage women or girls that he had sex with. Yep. He was only convicted on a few of them, and he pled to solicitation of a minor, not to go to trial. But what he was actually guilty of was banging little girls here. All right. And the thing is that he, even knowing what he did and who was in charge of the deal in Florida, Alex Acosta, Trump then nominated Alex Acosta to be on his cabinet, knowing that Alex Acosta was the one that gave him the sweetheart deal, that then also gave the deal to 5 of his co-conspirators. 5 of his co-conspirators and only Ghislaine was charged. So there's 4 more that have never seen any sort of justice because of Alex Acosta. Trump, knowing that, nominated him, and the only reason why Alex Acosta was part of Trump's cabinet is because he resigned from it because he said there's too much heat. Right?
Yeah,
so
too much heat because as soon
think
as
about what
everybody
Trump
found out about it.
Think about what Trump did, knowing what Epstein did, and then putting the person that was in charge of giving Epstein that deal in his cabinet. That's fucking gross.
Yeah,
He
no,
had
that
to.
was a bad pick. There's no doubt about that. I mean,
He didn't pick him.
but-
He had to.
well, there. By the way, there are club records that Epstein was a member there. So
He was not a paying member. Do you understand the difference, right? He did not pay the $100,000 fee that other people paid.
okay, well,
he was
it
there
says he
for
was a
free.
paying member.
I guess what is it we're arguing at this point? What are we
But-
debating?
The
Like,
relationship
these two-
between Trump and Epstein,
these-
how close
these-
were they?
These
I
two
don't
were
think
not
they were
just
as
fly by
close.
night. These two weren't just like,
Yeah,
oh,
I mean,
Daddy showed up
like,
at a party and Dr. Dre
There's
showed up at a
1,200
party. It's not
pictures
that.
of them together.
Like, there's
I
a lot
Googled
of
it.
connection. So I
They're
guess
definitely it's a big web for sure.
I guess the question would be like, is your stance Trump was completely in the dark of all things
No.
Epstein?
No.
Okay.
No, I think he had an idea of what was going on.
So if we're just stuck on how close of friends they are, I really don't care. But if
Right.
he knew illegal things were going on, And then
Well,
he is now the president of these United States.
ask yourself this, and I get what you're saying, and I agree.
Like there's a moral, at least there's a moral issue.
I agree, but ask yourself this: back when they were first started investigating Epstein, and they sent out subpoenas to all these people, and even the attorney that charged Epstein back then said, there's interviews with him. He said, I sent out subpoenas to all kinds of people, very high level people. This was, Trump was just Trump back then. And Donald Trump was the only one that said, you don't need to send me a subpoena. I will come in and I will sit down. And he talked to them very openly about everything that he knew. And Donald Trump is one of the reasons that Epstein got charged, because he came out and said, so yeah, I think he knows more than he's saying he knows. But I think
see,
he's also protecting.
So I guess where is the line of accountability? Probably.
Yeah, that's the question I was asking. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, where you're gonna be like, all right,
where do you go? Like,
yeah,
well, I say,
you can do this much. You can hold this much information back on child abuse or whatever.
Zero. I mean, there's
so
zero.
if it's zero, then there should be no redaction. There should be no nothing. Mm-hmm. All the stuff should come out. Whoever's in trouble, I don't care which celebrity it is.
I agree.
I don't care if it's Obama. Don't care if it's Clinton. That means they're not the people thought they were. They need to be locked up.
I agree.
I guess.
I mean, if they have pictures of Trump doing something that he shouldn't have been doing, put the fucking pictures out there. Allegedly, say where I live, I'm in Virginia, and we have an FBI building not far from my house. And everybody in this area is saying that all the Epstein files have been stored there for the last however long, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And that supposedly they're redacting the files right here in Winchester, Virginia. And it's crazy around here right now, because they had to send security to an FBI building because people are threatening to like bomb the building and break in and like try and steal the files. And I'm like, you're going to break into the FBI? Give me a break. Nuts. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right here right now.
So I also want to say this because it needs to be said. Trump had nothing to do about prosecuting Epstein. Who did? It was Julie K. Brown, and everyone should say her name because she was one of the heroes in this story, who actually went and said, why wasn't Vanity Fair reporting on this? Why did they pull out the news report? Why did ABC pull the news report that was supposed to be broadcasted even after they finished the interview? All these news organizations, a lot of them did stories completed, and editors and lawyers said, don't do this, we're going to get in trouble, because they had connections with Epstein and Epstein's billionaires and friends and stuff like that. It was Julie K. Brown who put her life on the line, and when I say life, I mean life, because if anyone knows the story of Marie Farmer had to go into hiding because Ghislaine threatened to kill her. And what happened with the Vanity Fair editor, they cut off his cat's head and put it on his doorstep. And then there was a bullet found on his doorstep signaling, hey, we killed your cat and we'll kill you too. Yeah. So when people are saying, why didn't these, girls come out? They were getting death threats. Yeah. There's another one, Katie Johnson, whoever says, oh, look at that stupid case because she tried 3 times and each 3 times she pulled it away. That's just BS. The thing about it is that she said she was threatened with her life. Marie Farmer, who we now know, was a big, who was the first accuser to go to the police. She went to the police said, we can't do anything, go to the FBI. She called the FBI, worked with the FBI, and the FBI did nothing. Then she went to the Vanity Fair and tried to talk to the media. She told her story with both Marie and Ann Farmer, and the Vanity Fair editor took it out. And so, again, what happened was the Miami Herald, through Julie K. Brown, reinvestigated this, published this. Then the FBI agents involved actually said the reason why we reinvestigated this was because of Julie K. Brown's reporting, and really they had no other reason. They had the evidence there. But the only reason why they reinvestigated this and then charged Ghislaine and Epstein again was because of Julie's reporting. And I don't think that should be left alone, because She could have, they could have threatened her life. She knew the danger that she was going through. So she's a hero
Yeah.
through all this. I have to, we should all admit that, not put out things like Trump's the reason why no, this was a reporter who did her business
I'm
and
not
risked her
saying
life.
he's the reason, but
I don't
he
think
was
anyone
a
said Trump's
catalyst.
the reason.
I didn't say,
At least
yeah,
I've never heard that.
I said he was a catalyst because he did push them on that, and he did go in there and speak against him, and that was Epstein knew that.
When,
That, and I'm
when,
sure you have to ask yourself why he got investigated in New York and not Florida, too.
I guess my whole thing with Trump and this Epstein
Yeah, Florida
is
paid off.
right,
Right.
but I feel like my whole thing with Trump and the Epstein thing is okay. If I was if anybody thought of me of doing any sort of crime as terrible as what he's being accused of, I would want my innocence out there. I mean, there would be no
Mhm.
there would be no doubt about it. I want my name cleared. I'm gonna do everything that I can to tell people that this isn't me. No, I did not do that. And
Right.
so I don't see that with Trump. You know what I mean? I see Trump fighting against the evidence to come out there, fighting against the files. Like when we were talking about earlier about the hoax. I mean, the Democratic hoax that doesn't fly with me because it's Republicans also pushing for these files to be out. So how is
Yeah.
it just a Democratic hoax? You know what I mean? The Republicans are pushing just as hard. So to me, you know, all these flips and everything like that. I think the only reason why he signed off on this bill was because there was no way that he knew there was no way he was going to stop it from happening anyway.
Right.
So he was like, let me get in front of this and let me go ahead and say I'm going to sign this bill because he couldn't stop it. But
Yep.
I just feel like that doesn't sit easy with me. You know what I mean? Just like when you see
Yeah. No, I get
celebrities.
it.
Yeah, you know, like you see celebrities that settle. You know what I mean? Like they settle out of court. I'm like, no, I would never settle for no shit like this. Like I want this is going to court. I want to be
Yeah,
tried.
I want everybody to know what's going on because the
You
settlement's
know,
freaking quiet and nobody knows what it is. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so
I know.
that's
It's always bothered me. I'm like, what? Just, like shut the fuck up and just let them do their work. You know what I mean? Like, why do you need to go through all this bullshit? Because eventually, it's all going to come out. But to me, and I think why he calls it a hoax is because looking back, this isn't something new. This has been going on for over a decade now at this point with all these files and everybody wanting to see them. And we had 4 years of a Democrat president and nothing came out and nobody even said a peep about it. But Trump wins the election and all of a sudden, oh, we got to have these files. And yeah,
Well, he ran
did,
on it.
and
He
ran
brought
on
it
it.
up.
Yeah, they
He
ran
ran
on
on
it.
it.
He did. So he did bring this on himself.
He volunteered it out.
So he did. Absolutely.
Because you know why,
He
Jen?
absolutely did.
You know why? Because what's his name? Old man Biden is beholden to the same people Trump beholden to. I'm telling you, what's over
Oh,
his
they are.
head?
It's
Yeah,
different people of mine.
yeah,
It's
Biden,
different
Oh,
Biden, you know.
oh,
No, but see,
Biden
Biden
is
didn't open
probably
his mouth
involved.
about. Biden didn't. You see, Biden didn't go on no campaign about that Epstein shit. I don't remember that. Do you?
No, he didn't. He didn't. But
Yeah,
Biden's probably
of
involved
course.
with it.
Why not?
Probably because he's in it.
That's what I'm saying. Biden's probably
Well,
involved.
I know, and the reason I was thinking that he wasn't was because of Bill. I mean, I know Bill's involved. I mean, Bill's that guy. So like that.
You mean Biden didn't do anything because of
Right.
implication to Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think-
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
being
think
small
Bill-
like
That
that,
would
but
make
now
sense.
I think it's above his head. Now I'm not on that theory. I'm on the
Yeah.
theory like it's somebody above all of them.
I think
know,
it's
that's
going to be
involved.
some. Yeah, I think the connection to me, just me, Congress, both sides stand up to the aisle for only one group of people that come to visit us, and I think them the people they're all protecting ultimately.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Like the Saudis
Because-
or
because
Israel. Don't say
because-
Israel.
Israel.
if you show up, if you show up and
Yeah.
you're always trying to get the American money and all of the American support, and it turns out that you're out here on some pedophilia, sex trafficking of American kids, that ain't gonna hold well for all of the money and the profit that you're gonna need.
I don't think it's Israel. I think it's like the UK.
If the UK, they have such little influence in America.
I don't know.
You see,
I mean,
they threw Andrew under the bus, like, oh,
They have
we don't
they
mess with
have
him.
I mean, the
They was
UK
quick
runs
to
Canada.
brush him off.
they
I
have
mean,
little to no influence on
And what's the
I-
prince
America.
that's
I
over here that
disagree
they
with
took
that
his
there.
money? What's the prince that's over here that they
Huh?
unprinced? What was his name? Harry?
Andrew.
And,
Oh,
no, Andrew's the one that.
you're talking about Diana's son?
no.
Yeah,
You're talking. Yeah, the
Red.
one that got
Yeah,
all his
William.
royalties. Yeah.
Is it William?
yeah. He's not in it. He's not
No,
part
it's
of
not
the
William. It's not William.
Harry.
It's the other one,
Harry.
the other brother,
Harry. It's Prince Harry.
Harry. Yep.
Yeah, he's not part of the royal family.
No.
He
My-
get
No,
coochie,
but you
man.
have
He
to
get that.
remember,
They don't
you-
play around.
to say that England has no influence over the United States is very wrong. They are our number one ally, and you have to remember that the King of England is also the King of Canada and Australia and the British Virgin Islands, and they have their hands in every country, everywhere, all over the world, and they have massive influence. And so I disagree with that.
They do have massive influence. They are not dependent on us for their
No.
influence.
No,
Other
they're not.
places are. They're not bleeding us dry. We're not paying for their health care and their free education. That's my point. My point is
Yeah.
Congress both hate each other. They're Crips and Bloods all the time. Until
That's true.
one guy comes and starts talking, and all of a sudden both of them are, yay, this guy's the greatest. They can't even agree on our own president. My whole
Yeah.
point is whoever, because to your point, I think you're absolutely right. Democrats very well could have put this out there, and
Mhm.
the perfect time, if Trump, this is one of the reasons I don't think Trump was in there in a bad way,
Yeah.
because the perfect time to drop that bomb would have been before he got elected again.
Yep. Or
Right?
even in
But they didn't.
2016, because
But
that
they
was
didn't,
it was
right?
big in 2016.
So my thought is, okay, they're afraid. They're
Yeah.
clearly not going after their what we're believed in the American theater to be their worst enemy, the Republicans. Oh my gosh! So they didn't
Yep.
do anything. Then the guy who's running on the Republican ticket is like, Democrats suck. Blah 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 blah. I'm going to release the
Epstein.
files. He gets in
Yep.
the office, doesn't release the files. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, dang! I thought that was his arch nemesis, but it turns out that no matter who wins, somebody else always wins.
Yeah.
No matter which side wins, there's a Miriam Adelson in the White House all the time, no matter who's in the White House.
Yeah. Well,
If them
now,
people are in it, that's an extra bad look to the
Oh, yeah.
already bad look that they have in
Yep.
society. So I'm like, it might not be them, but I can't think of another group. Because let's say it's like a big banker.
Yep.
That we don't know. I don't know who the fucking biggest banker is in the world. And if
Yeah.
that person
Nobody
died
does.
tomorrow, I wouldn't give a shit.
right.
But if I found out we get to cut ties and stop paying for everybody else's war in the Middle East because this,
Yeah.
now I care.
Right.
So I don't think they're protecting like some lone CEO that no one really knows.
No.
Even if it was like Bezos or Gates, we're like, man, who
Uh,
cares?
It could be Gates, because Gates
And-
and Oprah Winfrey, and they have their
And if it-
organizations. And look
there's
what
n-
happened with Oprah Winfrey and her
But there's
school
no
in
way.
Africa.
There's no way that those two people are bigger than the entire country. Both parties completely are under Gates
No,
and
no.
Oprah. That's my point.
Right.
Because if
But
Oprah
the
went in
network
there, the
of
Republicans
people-
are going to
That's
be
a
like.
good theory, Jesus.
So it's just a
No,
thought. It's
no,
somebody bigger. It's somebody bigger.
I'm
That's my
going
point.
with that. I'm riding with that because I was trying to figure out who I could put up there because
'Cause I
like
really-
I said, man, there's somebody swimming up here, man.
Jen,
and
I
Oh, you
we
got-
don't know it.
You're
I
Sean
really-
salivating right now. 'cause
Yeah.
he hates Israel.
well, because
He
Jen,
hates Israel.
Jen, I really don't think Trump is in there in that way.
Yeah.
Just that
I don't
alone is
either.
more than enough for me to go. He might have. Now, I believe he might have known a little more than he's shared, and he's probably
Yeah.
pressured not to share that. But I don't
Right.
think he was messing with little girls.
No. I don't think
But-
so either.
Yeah,
He
I don't
has
think
done
that's
some
live
suspect
from him.
things morally. I'm like, I'm not a fan.
And that's what makes
Well, I
it.
mean,
That's what makes
he's
it weird
raped
because
Eugene
he's
Carroll.
so
I mean,
he's
I don't
such
think
a
he did this.
an
I don't think
assholey
he
moral
did this.
person. It's like I can't even put that on him. Like
Yeah.
even though he's an asshole and a moral jerk off, I can't even put that on him because
Yeah,
it don't
I
fit his.
think because
That
they
he
would have
don't
done
fit
it.
the vibe. He don't fit the mold. Like I don't
Right.
see it.
He raped somebody. What do you mean that doesn't fit the mold? The jury said that he raped E. Jean Carroll. I mean,
No,
what do you
no, they
mean?
didn't.
Hold on.
No, they didn't. He was never convicted of rape. And
Wasn't
watch
he
He
Carroll
used his
grown?
fingers and not his
No.
penis, which is why legally they said
No.
sexual
Wait, wait,
assault.
wait, wait,
The
wait,
judge
wait,
said it
Hey,
was
hold on,
rape.
hold on.
Wait.
No.
Wasn't she a grown woman?
When she
It's still
is that
rape.
okay? Is that okay, man? He
That's
fucking
not
raped
what
her.
I'm talking about.
It
I'm
wasn't.
talking about
He
messing
wasn't
with
convicted
little
in a court of
girls.
law.
He was convicted in he was in
Civil
civil
court,
court.
which is a
Listen,
very
listen,
low
hold on,
standard.
listen, hold on for 1 second.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
I can't believe you guys are
hold
defending
on,
rape.
My father
Nobody's
worked
not.
at the
Don't do that.
Hold on,
Don't do
listen.
that.
Hold
No
on,
one is
be quiet
defending
for
rape.
1 second.
not.
Let me get one mic for 1 second. My
Yeah.
father worked at the penitentiary for 25 years. There's plenty of dudes in there for rape that will never mess with a little girl. We're not putting those two together. What are you doing?
Right.
We're not putting those two
Justifying one
together.
over the other.
We're talking about messing with little girls, kids, pedophilia. There's plenty of dudes that will cut your throat for that, V, but they will still rape a woman. That's not. What are we comparing that for? We
We're not
shouldn't be
yet.
doing
Okay.
that.
We're definitely
And-
not saying rape is okay, V.
No,
Don't do
we're
that.
not.
But don't do that.
Yeah.
No,
We're talking
never.
about messing with little girls, though, and that's what I'm
And-
trying to tell you. He don't fit that. He don't fit the
He,
mold.
all right,
His
when he
answers
talked to
ain't
Howard
just-
Stern, when he was talking to Howard
God.
Stern, and they were talking about how he would go into Miss Teen USA
Miss
pageants.
Miss
It was
Universe.
both. At that time, he owned both. And there were girls as young as 15 years old that were undressing, and he went into behind the scenes and watched them undress, and they were 15 years old. He told a girl who was 10 years old that one day I'm going to be dating her. He said that
None of
his
that is-
own
that is
daughter,
true, yeah, dude.
when they talked about his daughter, he said, I would, if she was not my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. When they asked about Tiffany, when Tiffany was 1 year old, when you said, what do you think about your daughter? He said, well, you know, she doesn't have these. She has Ivanka's legs, but we don't know if she had these. His daughter was 1 year old, and he was talking about her legs and her
Guy.
tits.
Guy. We're saying morally, we don't rock with him on a moral compass. You're pointing out all of the things why we would go, it's probably not our guy. I'm simply saying, if the Democrats knew that he was in these files in a bad way, there's no chance they would have let him win this last election.
So let me tell you why you're wrong. Let me tell you why you're wrong. Because if the Democrats...
Hold up.
What?
You can't tell me why I'm wrong.
I will.